Hello. That was an unexpected start to this program. Welcome to Mindset Reset, the reboot, the reset, the return, and happy days to all of you out there watching. So this is a pre-recorded show for you today. And I just want to sort of set out how we're going to proceed with Mindset Reset for 2022, but also I want to talk about something that's been dwelling on my mind for some while also we'll be going a little bit crazy and doolally. I've just done a reading of my book, The Self-Harming Pacifist, available now at well, I was going to say all good retailers, but only Amazon have it. Only Amazon. You might find it in a charity shop, you never know, in the bargain bucket. But I've just done a reading for that, and I was very pleased and very surprised to see that some people had left reviews on Amazon for my book, and I'm very grateful for that, because it's really, when you write something, you don't know if anyone's going to read it, let alone enjoy it, and that people have, and I'm super grateful for that. So thank you. If you're one of those people, thank you. Now here at Mindset Reset, in the cubby hole where I sit and work, I have been dwelling over, musing, I suppose is the right word for artists, musing over how I wish my business to move forward in 2022. And this is all about, first, there's two things that I wish to achieve for this year. The first is to have a freedom mindset. I want as many of us as possible to have a freedom mindset. And by free, I mean that you are not controlled by the thoughts that go on in your head. They do not control your actions. You can't do anything about the thoughts that go on in your head. It's like being wired into a radio station that you can't control the words coming out of the presenter, but you can control your reactions. And what I'm trying to do with my program and with my speaking and with Mindset Reset videos and with podcasts is to remind us all that we have control, and we don't have to react. We don't have to put an action into place just because a little voice in our head decides to tell us so. And I was reminded of that when I was doing my reading for The Self-Harming Pacifist, because I used to self-harm. I mean, I'm not going to deny or feel ashamed that that's what I used to do. I used to do it, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, when I did it, it made me feel better. So we've got to be honest about this sort of thing, but also it was also very painful, because as most things in life, we're always we don't have very many sharp knives. I mean how these like in Scream or Halloween, where does he get the sharp knives from? I mean, and how you've got to have, how do you keep it sharp? I've got one of these things that you put on the kitchen table, and it's got a sucker, and it goes, and you put it on, and you have to scrape the thing through, and it never gets sharp. I don't know how Michael Myers does it, Freddy Krueger had fingers, didn't he? But even then, he's got to do that. He's got to sharpen those. I don't know how he did it. Or in Scream series, I mean, where do they get all this stuff from? How anyway, that's not the point. The point is that I used to self-harm, and I more often than not was using a blunt knife because we didn't have any sharp knives. I mean, I mean, that just sounds ridiculous anyway, doesn't it? The thing is, with Mindset Reset and with the way my brand, Zac Thraves, person who speaks, is to try and highlight actually that a lot of this is ridiculous, because life is a bit ridiculous anyway, isn't it? I mean, life is a bit crazy. Society is ridiculous. We're living through an age at the moment with COVID and with governments making these decisions that don't seem to make any sense. So the world is a little bit ridiculous. I mean, planet Earth isn't ridiculous, but maybe it is. It's hovering in a vacuum of blackness, revolving around a great ball of energy that could explode at any time. I mean, that's a bit ridiculous in itself, isn't it? So mental health is ridiculous, and I don't mind admitting that I self-harmed with blunt knives, and that's a ridiculous thing to do. I mean, how on earth I thought I was going to commit suicide with a blunt knife, I've no idea. And this is where we go, you see. This is where I'm trying to go with all of this, because life is ridiculous and surreal and mad and bonkers, and the best parts of it all are the comedy and the silliness and the madness being highlighted and being brought forward. And my depression, my mental health, I mean, some of the thoughts that come up in your head, and you think, why is that? Why? Where did that come from? I mean, what was the point? And what are you trying to say to me? Because, you know, it's just like having as I say, it's being tuned into a radio station that you can't control. But that's where great ideas come from, because that's about having imagination. And we all have an imagination. And I'll tell you something, if people say to you that they don't have an imagination, then you can remind them that they are imaginative enough to know that they don't have an imagination. Everyone has an imagination. So freedom mindset is what I want, because we are free. And depression tries to convince us that we're not. Depression tries to convince us that we are being pushed to do something we don't want to do. We can't do this. We can't do that. And we get into this pattern of behaviour of knowing all the things we can't do. And I just want to know all the things that I can do now. And if I can't do it, then I want to try and do it. That is having a freedom mindset. And it doesn't happen every day. Yesterday was Monday, and I woke up in the morning and I felt flat. I felt horrible. I felt low. What's the point in all of this? Why am I doing all of this stuff? You know, what am I trying to achieve? Who's listening? No one gives a crap. All that sort of stuff. So I said, okay, yeah, hello there, Mr. Depression. How do you do? You want to sit around for a while, do you? Fine, pull up a chair, take a seat. I'm just going to go and do this thing that I said I'd go and do, and then I'm going to go and lie in bed and watch a movie or read a comic or whatever. And that's what I did. I just ignored it and let it sit. I didn't push myself, didn't start thinking, oh my God, I should be doing this. I feel so guilty. I should be doing this. Oh no, now look at what's happening. Look, I'm not working today. Oh, I feel so shameful. I should be out there hard work grafting. It's just like, no, I'm not giving you any ammunition. You can have the space. You can have, you can sit around. You can observe. You can do what you like. You can say anything, whatever. But I'm not giving you any ammunition, because I'm not going to feel guilty, and I'm not going to think I should be doing something when you're hanging around. It's like having the one of those annoying one of those people that used to hang around at the Rec, and all they do is moan and groan and blah 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 blah, and you just switch off in the end. You just switch off, because we can't take it from these people, can we? We can't take it from these people. You must know people like that. I know lots of people like that. Not many, actually. A lot of those people have gone, but there are still people like that. There's people in work. There's, one of the benefits of working from home is you don't have to put up with that shit. At least you can mute yourself on Zoom. and then scream into a corner with a nice happy picture of yourself on the computer. There's a benefit for working from home. So freedom mindset. Freedom mindset. Which is very interesting. But the trouble is now I can't remember the second thing. What was the second thing? There were two things. And the first one was freedom mindset. The second one, break the stigma. And this is what also I'm trying to do with this program, with my posts, with my speaking, is break this stigma. And the freedom mindset thing comes into it, you see, because we should be able to talk about stuff. Who says we can't? What, some sort of model of society that was created in 1700 and something, we're still stuck in it because we're still stuck in a class system. We're still stuck in this snobbery of you can't say something, you can't do this, you can't behave like that, you can't cry in public. Oh, you were not allowed. You're not allowed in here. You can't do this. You can't do that. I mean, it's lots of things that I can't do. I remember going to a pub once, and on the sign it said no dogs and children, and I'm thinking, so what? My children are a human being is, because it's a child, is being put in the same class as a pet, as something that is put in a kennel or a basket. Yeah, great. That's our society. That's where we are. And we haven't left that society yet. I tell you, we have not left it. It's still very much here. It's a painful society. And with me leaving my place of work and coming to work from home and working for myself and being independent, I've actually kind of felt like I've removed myself a little bit from that. And I'm very thankful for that, because it drives me nuts. This society we're in, I just have to watch the news to be reminded of it. Just have to watch breakfast television to be reminded of it. And it doesn't work. It doesn't fit anymore. 2022 isn't the people are different now. We went into town today, into Maidstone. We had to go and find a couple of bits to buy, and I mean, one of the weird thing was that it was deadly quiet. I mean, because there's no offices open. And this was lunchtime, and it was like going. Remember, like going on a late Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock. The shops were shutting. That's what it felt like. But it was a Tuesday lunchtime. But all the offices are closed, aren't they? Because everyone's working from home. So there was no lunchtime trade. Subsequently, there were very little. Marks and Spencer's had gone. A lot of other shops had gone. The food, they when I used to work in the middle of Maidstone at lunchtime, Marks and Spencer's, the food bit was packed, and it's gone. It's closed. We went to McDonald's, and that was quiet. Lunchtime. It was lunchtime. I mean, this is bonkers, and this is because people are changing. People's thinking is changing. People's habits are changing, and COVID has brought that on. And a lot of people, I mean, especially now with the way our government is, a lot of people are now thinking, hang on a minute, I'm in charge of me. I'm taking control of my life. You can't tell me what to do anymore. And if I want to see someone, I'll go and damn well see them. If I want to have a party with 100 people in my garden, I'll damn well do it. It's not a party though. It's not a party. It's just cheese and wine. I mean, it's bonkers, and it's bonkers at the top. So if it's bonkers at the top, it's going to filter down, isn't it? Where was I going with that? Breaking the stigma. Break the stigma, because we are now in a space where we can talk, and we should be able to talk and discuss whatever emotions it is. If I feel like crying, I felt like crying yesterday. I was emotional. The dam could have burst at any point in the day. But there's nothing wrong with that. So it's society telling me there's something wrong with that. It's the blooming, what are they, sense and sensibility, all that nonsense. It tells you not to cry and stiff upper lip and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Bollocks. Anyway, This is how we break the stigma by creating a new society, a society that's humane, a society that puts people first, a society that doesn't strive for individual wealth, but for some sort of collective drive, and a social media which is sociable. I mean, how unsociable is most of it? I mean, okay, you take away the fact that you're on your phone on your own, scrolling up and down. Most of it's crap. Most of it. I didn't say all of it. Most of it. So that's where I'm going with all of this. See, I wrote something. Oh yes, the red alert. So I'm going to be doing some posts, talking social media. I'm going to be doing some posts. Red alert. I've always liked. I like the idea that we are on red alert. Not with with anyone else, Russia and all that sort of thing. Red alert with our minds. Wake up. Wake up. You know, the Star Trek. That. I want to get that. I want to get that and put it behind me here. Red alert. Kirk to Enterprise. Shields up, Sulu. Speaking of Captain Kirk, one of the things I did want to talk about this week on Mindset Reset is heroes. Now, I've discussed this before, but I think it's very important. And one of it's part of my my course actually that I do for individuals who need to get the mojo back. You know what I'm saying? Get that mojo back. Because if you, it's confidence. It's all about confidence. And part of the journey to getting confidence is to see yourself as the hero of your story. And this is very important because you are the hero of your story. Your life is your film. It's your book. It's your album. You are the central key character. Without you there, all the other storylines fade into insignificance. You've got to be there. You're the driver. You're the person, the core character. The story is driven around you. And you then have responsibility to act accordingly. And if you can start to see yourself like that, then you do start to take responsibility for your own life. The important thing is to look after yourself first. You are no good to anybody else if you're no good to yourself. If you're ill, you're no good to anybody, are you? In that sense, I don't mean you're no good to anybody, but you can't help others if you don't first of all look after yourself and make sure that you are in the best possible condition you can be in to help others. It's if you think of your family as a team of footballers or something like that. Something like that, and you're the playmaker. You're the Glenn Hoddle. You're the Eric Cantona. And you make it all happen. So when you're injured, you can't make it all happen, can you? And it's not about being in control of other people. People have to be free to lead their own lives. But you are a key character in their hero's story, just as they're a key character in your hero's story. They are the hero of their story. You are the hero of your story. You go off and do your own separate adventures. It's like having what are they? When you do the what do they call it in Hollywood? They call it something, don't they? When it's not like the Marvel universe, but you have an offshoot, a character offshoot, and then they make another series of somebody else. It's all that sort of stuff. That's where it is. But it's looking after yourself. And what I try and do with my talk of pop culture and things like that is to open your imagination, unlocking your imagination so that you can start to see things from a different perspective. Perspective is entirely unique to you. You're the only one who sees the world the way you see it. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, because I see it completely different. Well, but we see some similarities, don't we? But people see different colours, people see different viewpoints, people see, they hear different sounds, different stories, different words, pay attention to different things. And that's what makes it all beautiful when you're recounting it. And the trouble is, it also means that people get into arguments over stuff. But that's called judgment, and we don't do judgment here at Mindset Reset. We only do imagination. So you're the hero. You're the John McClane of your story. So a couple of films for you to view in order to get you into that frame of mind. And the first one, I mean, it's got to be. I mean, this is one of the best hero films I've ever seen. I'll just take it out of the light there. There he is, old Brucey. I remember Bruce. Obviously, I've never met him. It sounded as if I remember Bruce. We used to have a nice drink in the bar before he was famous. No, but I do remember Mr. Willis in the early 80s when he was in Moonlighting, and which was a great series. I don't know why they don't repeat that. I get the Great TV, is it, or something like that? Pick TV, repeat Moonlighting. Repeat Moonlighting. Subliminal messaging going out to the TV channels. Come on, you're looking for content all the time. Moonlighting. So yeah, and then he did an album. He did an album called The Return of Bruno, and it's that album that actually got me interested in learning to play the harmonica. That was in 1980 something. When would that have been? 86, 87. He was Under the Boardwalk time. Under the Boardwalk. It got me interested in playing the harmonica. So where are we now? 1987, 97, 2007, 2017. That's 30 something years ago, 35 years ago, and all I can play on the harmonica is When the Saints Go Marching In and Happy Birthday. So another 35 years time, I'll have 2 more songs under my belt. So that's nearly a set. You could see me on the stage harmonicarizing. When he did this film, 1988, it came out in the UK. I'll tell you a story. Actually, I went to see this very film at the cinema. Now it was an 18 rated certificate, as you can see there. And I was in 1988 I was 15, and three years earlier I tried to get into a 15 thing when I was 12, and I failed miserably. But then 3 years later, as my features advanced and I grew, and then stubble started to appear, and I don't know, maybe I looked more terrifying, I managed to get into Die Hard at the age of 15. Now that's pretty good going. It doesn't matter about the cinema now because they knocked it down. Here's good planning for you. Well done, Tunbridge Wells. Let's all the things that kids used to like doing on a Saturday afternoon. Go to the shops. Oh yes, go to the shops. Go to the cinema for 3 hours in the afternoon. Oh yes, that was very nice. It keeps them off the streets, doesn't it? Keeps them off the streets, stops them hanging around and causing trouble. Yes, that's what we used to do. So what do they do within their wonderful wisdom? Oh, let's knock the cinema down, shall we, and put it somewhere totally out of reach for anybody who hasn't got a car. Good idea. Wonderful. So that cinema is now long gone. It's a lovely cinema, Art Deco cinema, beautiful, lots of memories there. And it's where I saw Die Hard for the first time. The last film I saw there was Star Wars Episode 1. And that was a rubbish film, really. In the great scheme of things, it doesn't really stood out well. Hero. John McClane, hero. This is a hero story. Lone man having to save his wife, basically. He's not saving the world. That's later on when they started getting fancy with it all. This one, he's just trying to save his wife from a terrorist, basically. Based on a book, did you know? The others aren't. That one was based on a book. Interestingly enough, this is fact. This is fact. The rights to the book were sold as part of a series, and Frank Sinatra played the part of John McClane in a previous film many years before, but they were contractually obliged to send it to, first of all, the script to Frank Sinatra, and he turned it down. Anyway, of course he would, because he was too old to do it by that time anyway. The next film on the list, we're talking about lone people, lone heroes, because, you know, you are the hero story, you are in your own. Duel. Now, has anybody ever seen Duel? Spielberg's first film, made for TV. And it is very simple. It's about one man in a car being chased by a truck for no reason. He's just on a journey to get to work, and a truck starts chasing him, which is a similar storyline to, isn't it, really? But there's three men in a boat in that one. Duel. Two good films to watch to get you into the idea of being the central core part of your story, and then a little exercise for you to do. So what I'd like you to do is to write down in a journal, or actually you could start a journal. Why not start a journal? The Mindset Reset journal. Start the journey with a journal. I want you to write down heroes, your heroes. Who do you look to and admire? They could be real people. They could be John McClane. People like, could be anybody. It could be philosophers. It could be artists. It could be politicians. It could be entrepreneurs. It could be scientists. It could be inventors. It could be historical figures. Anything. It could be a superhero. It could be a singer. Whatever. But it's your list. It's the people that you admire the most. And then think about why it is that you admire them. And write one word next to their name of what it is that you admire about them. Because then that helps you build up a picture of how you think. And where you fit and where you sit with yourself. And also it helps you to build up an idea of what are you interested in? What are your interests? And how do you see your life? Because we can get lost in the maelstrom of everyday life, Morrisons and work and petrol and bills, and it's all this wild mayhem going on around us, which for the most part it's a bit dull, isn't it? It's a bit dull. So think about your heroes, think about why you admire them, and it might help you sort of build up a character of a sort of life you want, and maybe the sort of person that you want to be. And then you can start to make steps towards being that person, being your version, your unique version of the people. And take, you know, we borrow from everything around us. We borrow stories, we borrow ideas, we borrow stuff. So borrow from people that you like and admire. And then you can create the person that you want to be. And that's one way of changing your mindset, moving out from the idea of I can't do this, I can't do that, to Bruce Willis did that, I'm going to try and do that. There's your film recommendations for you. Right, I'm going to finish up now. Mindset Reset will be here every week from now onwards. Next week we're going live. So join me live next Tuesday. Actually, having said that, I haven't checked my calendar, but that's the idea. That's the aim, people. That's the aim. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. This is how it's going to be from now on. It's more off the cuff, more rambling, but there's a point to it, and there's a lesson to it. And we will, at some point in the future, we'll be doing an open forum session, and I'll be inviting you, my dear audience, to join in and you can be as personal or impersonal or manic or wacky as you like. Bring an instrument, bring a film recommendation, bring a book, whatever you like. Read a passage. Let's make this as immersive and as helpful to each other as we can. And watch out on the Facebook group, because also I'll be making that more immersive and more. I want it to be more of a collection of our thoughts and experiences, what we've felt on that day, going through life, something that's pissed us off, something like that. But come at it from a different perspective, not a sort of moany-groany perspective, oh my god, that thing pissed me off, but kind of thing. Film recommendations, music you've heard, anything, share it with us. So see you next week, and stay safe, stay well, and remember, you are the hero of your story.